Good morning. Welcome back to the JagCorner for this Wednesday morning. What is it, the 20th? Yes, it's April 20th. We are continuing our work on the 240p test suite today. Yesterday we started on the sound test menu. It was went a little bit slower than I thought it would. I thought it was going to go a lot quicker. So I spent a little time after the stream polishing a few more things up. Let me show that really quick before we get started. So if we go over to audio test and sound test. So I cleaned up the menu a little bit, and now we have some octave control. Today we're going to add in panning, and we may add also just a raw sample, just part of a song that the user can play. But let me play. So we have a nice C note there, and we can change its pitch. It's octave in this case. So we'll be doing that today. If we finish that up early, we may stop the stream early, or I may do something else. We'll see. I've been working on let me stop that. I've been working on Crescent Memories a little bit. Maybe we'll jump over to that. What I've been doing in Crescent Memories is swapping out the scrolling code for some elements, and I'm planning on going in and doing basically an overhaul on how scrolling, specifically the way things scroll in Flappy McFur. I did a little bit in Oddball. So on the intro screen, there's these clouds at the bottom. Went in there, did that, swapped those out for a better scrolling routine. And now I'm thinking I should probably go in and do that with pretty much everything in Flappy McFur. So we may do that too if we have some extra time. But I'm going to just put this on the scroll test while we're waiting or talking about other things. So don't forget, JagCorner.com. We have a newsletter, all that jazz if you want to learn about the projects that we're running, that we're working on, currently developing on. There's more videos that we've done. I haven't updated this in a while. This was number 18, and this was head over heels, and a few other Atari ST ports to the Jag. Maybe I'll spend some time on that today. I don't know why this one insists on being taller than the rest. Not sure why. Anyways, details about some of our upcoming games. I was doing a review on that since I hadn't. Well, I have been working on it on and off, but kind of separately, and so I changed the project so it would all build together, and I spent some time with it yesterday to figure out what my trajectory is on that, and I think I know how I want to finish it off. So anyways, so again, we might spend a little bit of time, and then I do some write-ups on some of the artwork for other Jag games that I've worked on for Atari Age and Songbird Productions. Also do some little articles on things that I catch in the removers library that might be useful for other people and for me in the future when I forget about it. So it'd be nice to do that. I am planning on doing a set of tutorials for the removers library. I have an outline for those tutorials kind of built, at least for an introduction to the removers library, and I've been doing some write-ups on that. I eventually want to do some videos, and those will all be pre-recorded, I believe, and so eventually I'll get to that. But anyways, I do have a small piece of news here. The RF Commander controllers pre-orders are now open. If you're not familiar with these controllers, it's a rapid fire mod that was recently put together. Let me see if I can find a name here. From the mod, Danny Gallagher. That's the name of the website. Fandle. It's got some reviews here. Anyways, I don't see a name, at least not obvious. Doesn't point out obviously, but credit to all involved. But it looks like somebody else is. So there was someone putting these together for for a price, I think about 70 or 80 bucks. And apparently they're really good for Trevor McVer, Raiden, and 05. There might be a few other ones. My guess is some of the Atari ST ports might be really good with this controller. It just gives you a few options for rapid fire. Actually mods the controller. There was at least one picture here. Let's see if it'll get bigger. Yeah, it's just a switch on the back. Pretty simple. Anyways, I thought I'd shout that out in case you are interested. I should probably like that. I've thought about getting one of these controllers. I may still do it. I haven't completely decided on it yet. I don't play a lot of shooters. I do like Raiden on the Jag. It's one of the, again, because of nostalgia, it's one of the few shooters I've played all the way through. I've played all the way through several times. Most shooters I don't have the patience for. It's kind of like platformers. It's almost a game of memorization, and so I tend to steer clear of that. I like it just hard enough that I die maybe every once in a while, but I'm able to continue through usually a narrative. I like narrative-driven games. I don't like to be stuck at a point in the game because I need to get good at it. I have other things in my life that I'd rather spend that effort on in terms of getting good at. Games is not one of them. At least not most games. I've recently played, and I've mentioned this a few times now, but because it's so good, I've played Hollow Knight, and that game is tough. It's really tough. But there's something about the controls. The controls are really solid in that, and so it feels every challenge, the victory over every challenge feels just in reach with that one. It never feels unfair, even though I die like 40 times on a boss or something. And so anyway, so there are games that I'm willing to do that with, but most I'm not. But anyways, having this rapid fire controller is a good way to make those games a little bit easier, especially Raiden. Your thumb will get, your thumb will get tired pressing that A button as fast as possible within about 10 minutes, which is only like the first 2 levels. And I think that game has like 7 or 8 levels at least. Anyways, that's it for the news. There's not much beyond that. Let me shout out in the chat if you're there. We're just going to be doing some programming. It might be a little bit slow today. I'll be pushing and pulling text boxes around, just making sure everything's lined up. We do have to figure out the panning. I believe it's backwards on my on my computer right now. So if I remember that, we should be fine. I guess I could listen up on the monitor here, because I'm pretty sure that one's correct. Gosh, it seemed like that was backwards too. I can't remember. We'll get it going, and then it's something I can fix later. I'm just wondering if there's anything else we can work on in the test suite. Maybe we'll go review the MD Foyer. I think that's a Fruer thing. Not sure if that's how you say it. Anyways, yeah, let's get started. And forgive me if the camera stalls again. I think I figured out what was going on. I had a USB extension for my Skunk board to go over to the Jag, and I think that was causing the problem. I don't know why. I tested it a few more times. Like the first time I ran the Skunk this morning, so I sent a JCP command, it froze the camera. And so I took away the extension cable because I've never had it freeze before when I've had the cable directly from the Skunk go into my USB port. And so hopefully that won't be a problem today. We'll find out. I'll try to keep an eye on my camera to see if I freeze. I'll probably go back and forth like this, see if I've frozen. Anyways, okay. Good morning, Matt. Good to see you again. Hope your yesterday was great, and I hope you're looking forward to a good day today. I know I am. Let's see here. We were working on the audio test. Let's see if we can find that. So something about the 240p test suite. Everything is in one file here, and I know some coders, they love to do that. I've kind of been mentored away from that to try to make things as modular as possible. You know, for a program like this, it's not as big of a deal because it's kind of reached its threshold for, there's the audio sync test. That means our audio test is right here. Okay. it's reached the threshold for how many tests it's going to have, and so it's kind of reached its size. But I do worry that if there are more tests devised in the future, that this will become just massive, and eventually you'll have to break it out into smaller components. Anyways, I'm not going to make that decision though. Okay, we need a few more text boxes here. Text boxes. Boxins. We need one for left. Text box. This will be left. We'll use lowercase on these. Left. Center and right. Center and right. Make sure all the names are updated. Center and right. On the first version of the test suite, I did an actual nice little slider for the panning. I'm going to bypass this here for the sake of matching the way the Mega Drive version is doing it. Because they probably could have done a slider as well, but it really is unnecessary for testing. You really just need to test to make sure your sound system is properly sending audio out to the left, to the right, and it's balanced. So, yeah. Let's see here. We're going to tie. Let's see here. I did not change these. Center. While we're at it, we'll unload these. Oh, I went way too far down. Here we go. Panning. We're gonna do left name text box. Center name. We're gonna properly unload these. You know what feels great is compared to, well, 6 years ago, being able to properly load and unload things to avoid crashing. Man, that was just going way over my head back then and causing so many headaches. And now I can build these programs relatively quickly, much quicker than I used to, and there's a lot less arbitrary crashing. I say arbitrary because I had no idea where it was coming from back then. And now I know where most of it's coming from. It's usually I didn't allocate memory correctly, or I'm writing to memory that hasn't been allocated correctly, or writing to places that have been deallocated. So once you know that, it's pretty simple to go back through. Okay, let's check and make sure that I got everything allocated correctly, and then making sure I deallocated memory correctly. So, okay, we have those 3 boxes. Let's place them. So we're going to do it relative to our panning title right here. I'm just going to drop that there. For the Y, it's going to be the same for all 3 of these, and the X is going to be a little bit different. The whole thing is probably about 128 pixels. So if we do like 96, 110, or no, 96, this will be, well, center will be in the center, so it'll be like 160, let's see here, let's do 142, 142, it's where that one starts. Let's see here, the difference is about 50 pixels, let's do 196, something like that. That's not going to be right, but it'll be a start. And I'm just going to use the emulator to test this layout stuff. So make clear the terminal, make clean, and make virtual Jaguar. I hope Jaguar isn't too annoying for you guys. I try to tone it down. I try to do Jaguar a little bit more than I used to. Hey, look at that. We're pretty close. I just need to bump that back like 4 pixels. In fact, bump everything over about 4 pixels. We should be good. That went a lot faster than yesterday. Man, I was reviewing my video yesterday to see if how long I was taking just pushing and pulling pixels, essentially. And I spent way too much time on that, but sometimes that's how it goes. You're spending a lot of time. Hey, look at that. That looks great. Yeah, let's go with that. There's still some imperfections in the alignment there, but it looks nice. It looks good. It's not just good, it's good enough. If you can tell me where that's from, I'd be impressed. Or not so impressed, but it'd be awesome anyways if you knew where that was from, Matt. Let's see here. Okay, now we need to... So I've broken the menu out into several different things here. We update the headers. So that's kind of its own thing right there. And then there is a section for options, depending on the menu selection. Updating the lines there. And then we have the playback symbol and possibly other symbols. I don't know if we'll need them yet out here. So we've abstracted all 3 of those into separate things. It makes it a little easier to read, but it also allows for changes in the future. But the pronunciation for Jaguar will always be a contentious point between UK and USA. Yeah, it's funny there was an Atari Age thread, I think, at one point that was talking about that. And it's funny because all the people with more British accents or Australian accents and stuff, they say Jaguar, and they have good reason to say that because of the car company, right? I have 2 points of contention with that. First of all, the Jaguar it's an American cat, isn't it? Pretty sure it's a big cat here in the Americas. Second of all the Jaguar commercials, they say Jaguar. Like, I remember I was looking at that thread and I'm like, I'm pretty sure, and I think somebody else mentioned it in the thread too. I'm pretty sure they say Jaguar and all the commercials. There's no Jaguar, and so on that point alone, I think the proper name, the proper pronunciation is Jaguar or something close to that. You know, some of the commercials, it almost sounds like they're saying Jaguar. Not quite that heavy. I know I have kind of a Western American accent, and so it's not quite that heavy, but anyways. So panning, selection, equals, let's do 1, which will be center, and panning, selection, old. Okay, but... Yeah, and you know, since I've been doing the streams, it seems like every once in a while somebody gets on there and makes fun of us for our Western accent, and I've kind of just learned to not care so much about it. I say it the way I grew up saying it, which is with a heavy wire, Jaguar. I think it's kind of fun anyways. Okay, we need, so if menu selection, gotta do this for our panning title text box, and we just set them all to white each time. We could optimize this a little bit, but because there's going to be so few options, I'm not too worried about it. It takes quite a bit of time to repaint those titles between colors. There's probably a better way to do that, but I'm not going to think about it right now. And then we do our left-right selection down here, which is what it does is it's the reason why we have a this is the reason why we have the selection and the selection old variables. Is when we shift, we need to tell it to repaint the previous option, whichever option that was in this case, because there's 3 options, white, and then the new one needs to be painted green. And so we have to save that old selection, because when we hit left and right on the D-pad, it changes the selection. So before we change that selection, the number in the background, we tell it to save the old one so we can properly repaint the old one to white in this case. So let's change that. Panning selection and panning selection old and panning selection like so. And then we just add a case for our left-right options down here. Yep, right here. So for left, can I just take one of these? Yeah, let's just take this one. Reuse it. Panning selection is, if menu selection is 2, which is our third option, which is panning in this case, and panning selection is greater than 0, we save our old panning selection old, and then we update the panning selection like so. Do the same thing for right, except we're increasing whatever value we have. We do need to set this to 2, which is the third option. It just caps it to make sure it doesn't go beyond that. Panning selection old, same thing. We're just saving that old selection value and then updating the value. Okay. Make sure this is 2 for our menu selection. We should be good to go. That one should be set up at least visually. We still need to do the actual panning. Uh-oh, it broke. Why did it break when I went down? This just needs to be 2. I probably just didn't name something correctly up here. Oh, that's fine. No, that's fine. Update like panning title. There we go. That might help. I don't see why that would crash it though. Strange. Panning title text box. Menu selection equals. Gotta change that to we need to redo this. This needs to be we're gonna do panning name text box. We're gonna do 3. We need to make this an array so it cycles through these values appropriately. That may be why it's crashing. So this is 0. This is 1. What was 1? 1 and 2. 2. Yeah, that's correct. We'll need to go update you. Like that. And then our unload code, we need to update that as well. If I can find it. There it is. Let's just copy this. Make it 3. Panning, name, text box. See what that does. I didn't like, oh, I need to go, it's being initialized too much. It's being over initialized. Just gotta drop these. Because we're already creating the pointers here. So we don't need to do it over and over again. No need to do that. Still crashing on that. Let's see here. Let's go check our down. Menu selection. It's just increasing the menu selection. Nothing special there. Let's comment out these two. Give that a try. So this is how I usually track down crashes. Oh yeah, it has something to do with those two. This needs to be panning selection. Is I just comment out sections of code I just added, and I comment those out until it starts working again, and then I bring it back in to see where the problem is. Menu selection equals 2, that's fine. Panning selection is less than 2. Yeah, this. What's weird is we're not even invoking left and right, and it's still crashing. Yeah, that's all fine. Really weird. It doesn't like that right code right there. Huh. What am I missing? Just bring it in one line at a time, I guess. It doesn't like me setting that variable. Huh. Whoops. I'm gonna bring those back in. Joypad right. Let's go check. Oh, I gotta make sure I set this. I'm gonna set this like this. I wonder. Yeah, so for some reason the removers library does not like you. Yeah, it's working fine now. Does not like it when you don't initialize a variable in code. So I had just left this like that, and I didn't set it to anything. From what I understand, in C on other platforms, it's perfectly fine. Like, it's perfectly valid not to initialize a variable as long as you do something with it later. But the Jag does not like it when you do that. And I think this was, so if you've been following the Asterite thing, I think this is the issue that Phobos ran into. That was causing a major crash on some Jag consoles, is because when you don't initialize a variable, it's not pointing to anywhere specific, I don't believe. And you know, with variables like this, it may not be the same case, but And so what it's doing is it's pointing to a random point in memory. And if the memory's been cleared, I think it's all right. But if there's garbage, anything other than 0 there, it can potentially cause issues. And so when you try to set it, or maybe it's just pointing to a weird address. I don't completely understand it. There is an issue with not initializing variables. And so I've just learned that, first of all, you never do multiple variables on one line, even though on other platforms you can do that safely. And so you do a line for each variable, and you make sure it's set to at least 0. So never let it hang there. So same thing with pointers. Make sure that they're always pointing to null if you aren't using it immediately. Yeah, those are some things I've actually learned fairly recently in the last year or so. It's just always safe to do that. Okay, I think, yeah, it's working just fine now. Now we need it to actually do something when we shift those options. So we got to decide where we want to do that. Well, I'm going to just do it here on the redraw routine. In fact, I'm going to add something else here. We don't need to run this every time. So if sample, oh no, we can't do that here. Because we've already set sample selection old. We do it up somewhere else, don't we? Oh, maybe we don't. Sample. Oh no, we don't. Not yet. Equals sample selection. We increase it. Oh yeah, so we haven't set it yet. So yeah, I can wrap this. Let's go ahead and wrap this so it isn't running it every time. So if sample selection old does not equal sample selection, which it shouldn't yet, then run all this code, setting the, this is copying the waveform out of the DSP in the Jag. Sorry, I'm keeping an eye on my phone just in case somebody needs to talk here in the middle of the stream. But once we do that, we can go, oh, sample selection, or sample, yeah, sample selection old equals sample selection. So now those will be the same, and so whenever we change an option again, it won't run this again until we actually go up and change the sample, the waveform. Okay, that's done. We need a case here. So that's for 1 playback sample. I'm going to leave that below. I'm just going to create a new section here called change panning. So, and we're going to do the same thing. If yeah, panning selection old doesn't equal panning selection, then change the panning. So if panning selection is equal to 0, might help if I put an if statement in there. This is going to be simple, so I'm going to just go ahead and duplicate this and do some else ifs because we have 3 of them. Else if 1 and 2. And I believe there is a function that changes our panning. So let's go find that really quick. It should just be here. I'm just going to open up the headers for the removers library. Just open them all. We got them all. And there is, I'm pretty sure there's set panning right there, and we can do it according to each voice. So voice and then the value for panning. Set panning for voice 0. I think we're just doing 0 and 1 right now. And we're going to bump those both. Oh, I actually have a panning value. So we're just going to do panning. This is to the left, which I'll assume is 0 at this point. And then this one is 8 for the center and 16 for right. I'm going to go ahead and bunch these up since they're doing so little. And then we do our set panning. The voice we're setting, and then the value of that voice. And we're doing that for 0 and 1 for those two values, and then we set panning selection, or panning selection old equals panning selection. So those now match, and it won't run it until we change that option again in the future. Yeah, so that should do the trick. 0, 8, 16. I'm actually going to push this out to the skunk because we're going to be testing sound. The virtual Jaguar emulator is just not good for sound at all. Why didn't that work? 1835. I screwed up on a bracket somewhere. Did I? Should have 18. 5 else if let's run a make command, make sure that builds. Okay, and let's go to jag large jag. It's the name of my button here. Jag large sound test. That was not sounding right the first time playing. Got me a little concerned. Okay. Why isn't it playing back? Oh. Oh, that's a little annoying. I kind of, do I want to control that? So, what I'm looking at here, on this if statement that actually plays back the sample, what happens is if I move away from any menu selection that isn't included up here in the parameter for the if statement, it just clears it out. That's why it's stopping when I go down to panning. I'm just wondering if there's a good reason to do that. So we're going to be adding one more option in here soon for playing back just a piece of a song. I'm just wondering. Yeah, I think what we're going to do is we're actually going to just simplify this. We're going to do this. And do an else if not playback. So it'll only do that if we turn playback off. So it's going to be running all the time now. Until we tell it not to play. And then we may rework this one more time once we add our last option in here. Okay, let's push that out again. And my camera hasn't frozen. That's good. That's good. Does not want to play correctly that first time. I wonder what's up with that. I'll have to explore that. Yeah, it's working on my TV. So if you have headphones on, that should be obvious. The left, right, and center. Yeah, it's working great. Cool. That is working wonderful. I'm just wondering if I need to change anything here. No, I think it's fine. Anyways, there we go. We can activate that, deactivate it still. Cool. Cool. Got that. Okay, so now we're going to play a sample, and I need to go check to make sure I actually have the song still. I may have deleted it. Yep, it looks like I deleted it at some point. So I think I can pull that from the old test suite still. Yeah, there we go. Question is, you may hear something. Oh, you guys can probably hear that. I can't. 1 second. Yeah, this is the one that was in our old test suite. So I'm going to pull that over. Copy. Sound. I'm just going to drop it in there. I'm going to have to, let me load that up here too before we continue. I'm just going to pull up I don't do sound as often as I do graphics, and so I have to have a little bit of a reminder. Yeah. So I'm going to pull this over into our data file for sound. Sound data. Oh, I just uncommented it. Good. Let's do that. Add it in. Go ahead and close that. Okay. So we have that. We have our song, sound song, LZ. Yep. Should make clean, should build. Okay, so that's packed in. And now we can pull it in with an extern directive or whatever they call that. Right down here. Extern. This is an unsigned 8-bit integer. And we're going to call it song. And we need a... Oh, I've forgotten how to do sound effects. Let's see here. Let me think about this. It does need to be a character at the end of the day. What we can do is store it inside of a phrase, or let's just store it inside of a character pointer. Just call it song data, like that. Okay. We need to unpack that data. So up here, where we're defining everything, we'll just do this in order of the menu. We need to allocate some memory for our song data. Malloc size of, I believe it's a signed 8-bit integer. Let's go review that. So Seb talks about this. Oh, actually, I think he may talk about it in the header files. Let's go take a look. So if we go to sound, the length in bytes of the module is not checked and is thus assumed correct. For safety reasons, you should add a buffer of 31 times 2 bytes at the end of the module, since some values are fixed in the module by this function. It returns the number of voices of the music. So not there. Pretty sure somewhere here. Maybe not. Clear the voice. Play sample. Huh. Could have sworn he talked about it in here, but I am not seeing it. So, where I do know, and this has got me a little bit concerned, it should be recorded somewhere. And it can probably be discovered if you're smart enough. But Atari Jaguar. If you go to his old website, which he still has up, and that's why I'm a little concerned that this information might disappear at some point. He talks about what your samples should be. Sound. There it is. Sound Manager. Offers 8 voices mixers, which can play either 8-bit or 16-bits big endian signed samples. And so, okay, that's what I needed to know, if they were signed. Yeah. So we're good there. Oh, sorry. You guys couldn't even see that. So I just went to removers.free.fr. This is the removers library, the removers old website. And under the removers library documentation, he does mention in this introductory text that our samples are either 8-bit or 16-bit signed values. And that's what I was looking for. So there's that. And my camera's not frozen. Good news. Okay. Size of, I guess I can just do a character like that. That's what I could have done. Times by the byte size of the file. So I need to check that. I just go to the actual unpacked sample and find the size, which is, whoa, that is a big sample. It's 500K. I wonder if I can convert that. No, it's an 8-bit sample. That is really big. Do we actually want to do this? Sure, why not? We can pull it out later. It wouldn't be too hard to pull it out. 446, 572. 446, 572. That's how many bytes it is. It is almost a half K unpacked. It's big. How big is it packed? Well, it's about half the size, 272K, which is still huge for a sample like that. But yeah, that's really big. But it's not a bad idea to play a sample back that big, I suppose. Question is, can I actually play it back? Do I have enough RAM? As a ROM, it'll play back just fine, but we're loading our program in RAM right now. I don't know if it's going to work. Yeah, let's give it a try. LZ77 unpack. Our source is song, and our destination, which we are casting as an 8-bit pointer, an unsigned 8-bit pointer. Oh, that's interesting. I'm thinking of things I've never thought of before. When we cast that as an unsigned 8-bit integer, oh no, it's fine. Because the sign is going to be stored in the last bit. So yeah, that's fine. It doesn't care if it's signed or not. Shouldn't. And I've done this before. I know it works. Shouldn't worry about it so much. Okay, so that's unpacked. Yeah, that's unpacked. I'm going to free that down here at the bottom. FREE. Song data, and then song data equals null. Like so. Yep. Okay, so we have our song. It's ready to be played back. Now we just need to actually make the case. Oh, we do need to make a title for it. So I'm going to copy this. And we are going to make it pending title name, 16 down from that. And this is Play song. Play raw sample. Like that. And we're going to bump this over a little bit more so it's at least somewhat centered. We'll probably have to come in and tweak that later. And this is raw sample text box. And what we're going to do is we're just going to let that play when you scroll down to it. We do need to change this though. So we need to just add another if statement here. If menu selection doesn't equal 3, so the fourth option, like that. And then if, let's just do an else statement because I don't think we're going to be adding any more options to this. We play back this, and we're going to do it at half volume for each of those voices because it might be too loud otherwise. Yeah, this should be fine. And this isn't going to be playing back the DSP sample, it's going to be playing back our song data like that. And we need to set the length on this. Do it here. And our length, where are you? Our length is this. Yeah. You know, I think we just need to play that on one of those. We'll play it at full volume like that. Okay, I think that one's good. We do need to update our menu selection so it changes the color, properly changes the color. Let's see our menu selection right here. If menu selection is 3, this is raw sample, title text box, and we need to set it to white each time we switch. White, like so. That may, we do need to change our controller code so it can actually go down to that, which is right here. Okay, let's see how it handles that. Let's push that out to the skunk. Slouching in my chair a bit. Okay. Controller, not keyboard. There we go. Okay, definitely unpacked that sample. It took a little bit longer to load. That is bizarre that it's not. Oh, I know why. I think it's here. 0, 1, 2, 3. This needs to be set to 3. I think it's just loading the wrong sample the first time. Sample selection. No. That is correct. Sorry, let me turn that off. Sorry, I'm checking something else before we check that raw sample down at the bottom. I'm thinking I should probably put an extra line break in between those options too. We have the vertical space. Give me a second. Data pointer, ROM sign. Sounds like it's playing a triangle waveform rather than a sine curve. This is strange. Oh, it isn't playing it. Ah, that's why. We need to not set our sample selection to the same thing here. So we're going to set that to 2. That should fix it. I'm also going to do one other thing here. So sound test, DSP, that's fine. Octave, we're going to bump down 1, 32, that, and then 32, and then 32. Okay, send that out again. We should have, should load correctly. There we go, that's loading correctly. Okay, so we can change that, that's good. We can change that. We can change our panning. And then we can play back. It's playing back too fast, I believe. Which means we just need to change our... Oh yeah, we need to set... So, our... down here... right now it's doing it according to the playback frequency, but this song is going to have a single... set frequency, which I don't know what it is, but I imagine it's probably 1600 or around there. I guess I can go check. I can bring up the old library, see if I can find that. Screensavers. Nope. Didn't I have this broken out? Give me just a second. Trying to remember how I had this set up. Soundstruck. Screensavers. Common assets. Oh, let's take a look at this. Set voice. There it is. It's 16-bit. Yeah, I wasn't doing it right here either, was I? I may need to listen to this to see if it's correct. Playing an 8-bit sample as if it were 16, we have to play it at half its native frequency. So I did figure this out at one point. Yeah, I'm not sure. Let's just test it. Let's play it at 16,000 samples. Panning's fine. Let's give that a try. And what I can do is just test this by ear to find out if I'm doing it correctly. Yeah, so it's way too high. How much higher though was the question. Quite a bit higher. Where's the old one? Yeah, so that's not going to be helpful. Oh, I wonder if I play it as an 8-bit. If that will help. Because it is an 8-bit sample. Now it's way too slow. Where else can I try opening this with Audacity here really quick, the original sample. See if it will give me any clues. Project rate 32,000. Huh. I wish I understood audio better. be able to figure this out. Should spend some time reading up on that. So let's put this back at 32, or put it at 32,000 and see what that says. Oh, it's gonna play it back even slower. Okay, let's keep that at 16. Okay, I need to hear that again. That's 16. 16,000. Okay, so it's definitely too fast. Let's try this, some common sample playback values. This is just changing how quickly it plays it back. It's how many samples it processes per vertical blank, I believe. It may not be tied into the vertical blank, but it's closer. It's still a little too fast or too slow on this side. So yeah, that's too high. Let's do 1900. See, now I'm just kind of shooting in the dark to get it close to the original sample. Did I close my window? I think I closed my window. Why did I do that? Old sound. Okay. Not quite. Let's do 21,000. Whoops. That's gonna be pretty close. It's a little too low. 2, 3. Let's do 20,000. Almost got it. There we go. That's close. Close enough. And then when it'll just play that sample when you go down to the bottom. That's fine. Cool. Okay, we're good there. Kind of want to just add a little visual flair. You know how we're doing that play button, that play symbol up at the top? Kind of want to do a let's see here. I don't remember. Nah, never mind. We're not going to do that. I'm not too interested in doing that right now. Anyways, make sure everything's working fine here. It's not crashing. Okay, yeah. I think we're done with the sound test. Oh, sorry if that was too loud. Anyways. Uh-oh. We have some sort of bug. Why isn't it turning red? some sort of bug going on. Let's see. For some reason, the play raw sample isn't working. It isn't turning red like it should. Let's see here. It's supposed to turn red here. I guess. And look, none of them are turning red now, which is interesting. Oh, I know why. It's because I'm not properly unloading the text box. Hey, look at that. Which should be right here. Equals free text box. Like that. There we go. That should fix that. Because what's happening is when you enter... Oh, sorry about that. I shook the camera. After you enter the audio test, it loads that sprite that represents the title for that last option. And when you back out, if you don't properly unload it, it just keeps it on the screen. And then when you come back, it loads it again, but then that previous one is on top of it still. So if we back out, go back in, should be working now. Yep, there we go. Cool. Cool. I'm gonna listen to this, let it loop once here, check to see if it's looping correctly. There is a little bit of garbage at the end. So I wonder if we can, on the old version, I did something here. Yeah, I started it at 64 bytes in for some reason. I'm not sure why I did that. Let's give that a try here really quick. See if it fixes that little fuzz there at the loop point. If I can find it. Let's see here. So what I can do is tell it to start 64 bytes in, and at least I did that on the old version of the test suite, so perhaps that will solve our problem here as well. I don't know why it has an issue with that, but see what it does here. No, I could probably cut that sample in half. There we go. That sounds way better. Okay. Got our play button. Sorry, I'm enjoying it a little bit now that we have it done. You guys might be getting an echo with that, sorry. So we can play it on the left channel or the right channel. You know what I could do is on this last option, I can still enable it so you can hit left or right to adjust the panning position while you're playing the raw sample back. So all we need to do is under code, add a right here, panning selection. We just wrap these in parentheses and add another, so or menu selection equals to 3, so just like that. Copy this up to or down to left as well, like that. And now we should be able to adjust the panning even though we're on option option 3, menu option 3. Audio, so if we go down here, so we can change it when we're on panning, which is menu option 2, but then when we play back the raw sample, why isn't that working? I know why it's resetting the song. That's not the issue here. Panning. Yeah, it should be set panning. Why is it not? Comes down here, goes back into here. Just playback, resets the sample, sets the panning here. That should be work. Oh, it's not. It is working. It's just not updating the I gotta add that OR statement up here as well. There we go. That should do it. It just wasn't updating it visually. It was actually updating the panning, it just wasn't updating it visually. Again, if you have headphones, that should have been obvious, but because I can't, I have my television turned down, and so there we go. Right, center, left. Cool. Okay, seems like everything's working. Kind of want to cut that sample in half, but I don't want to spend the time recreating that sample. Yeah, that's working great. That delta waveform is interesting. Cool. Okay. Sorry for the noises, but that's just how this audio test works. It's actually it is pretty similar. It's not exactly like the Mega Drive test, but it is similar in some ways. So, and it should be useful for people who are testing out their own sound systems and for doing general audio tests on their Jag as well. So, I think we got that. The other thing that's different with it is we don't have the background up. I really don't want to use the menu background for the test background, and so maybe we should give this a color or something. You know, something I do have still, and this could kind of be an homage to the VLM that we could do, is add in the fading color background that I had in the old test suite. I'm pretty sure I still have the code set up to do that. Let's go. I need to go check. Remember how I was doing that. So, audio channel test. Set fade color to. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I have all this still. Let's go check. Common assets. Oh, it's not in there. Oh, maybe I don't. Where's my, oh, there it is. Yeah, I do. I still have it. So what I can do is actually just copy this over. What this does is it fills a color lookup table for the background color to fade between different colors, and it does 20 different colors each time you come in, and that's random. And then this fade to color. Yeah, I think we can still do this. Let's give it a try. I think I just need to copy over a few lines of code and we'll be good to go. Famous last words, right? Let's do it right here. Like that. And then I need my actual rolling fade. I had a function for rolling fade, so hopefully I still have that. We'll find out here really quick. In fact, we can test it right now just by running a make command. Yep, I still have all that code in the project. I didn't strip it out. I think that's all I need. We just need to set the background color back to black when we're done. So I'm just going to do that here. Tom Regs equals, or background color, BG equals 0x000, a 16-bit value. Okay, I'm going to just run this in virtual Jag first. Haha, yeah, check that out. That's awesome. Cool. Push that out to the Jag here really quick. Check it out. Oh, go to stretch. It is just past 7 a.m. where I'm at. Okay. Yeah, check that out. That's cool. There is the possibility it'll pick white or something, but that's okay. That's gonna be pretty rare. And then it should, yeah, it just sets this background back to black. Thinking, so it's retaining a color when we come back in. I think I can set that here. Fade to color. I think if we just set this, I don't know. Let me go take a look at what we have in here. Current fade color, fade to color. It's probably going to be one of these. Yeah. Let's set those both to black. I think that might solve the problem with the color being retained when we come back in. Where are you? So settings. What was it? Current color equals 0x123. That may be all we need to do. Current fade color. Current fade color, like that. Test this in virtual Jag really quick. Audio, like that. Let it fade to a color. Exit. Go to it. Good. It's going back to black. Cool. All right. You know what would be really cool here, and I was thinking about doing this, is drawing the actual waveform for the selected DSP waveform. I think that'd be really cool. It's 128 points. And so we could do, yeah, I think we could do this. We just need to scale it so it fits a certain area. Gosh, that would be so cool. That would be so cool. Do we want to do it? Do we want to try? That sounds like something fun we could try. I don't know how far we get here in the next 40 minutes. Let's give it a try. I kind of want to try that. So let's make some space for it here first. So just under DSP waveforms, we're going to do, we got to decide, let's make it 64 pixels. Nah, let's make it 32 pixels. So if we just bump this down an extra 32 pixels, which would be 48. Let's check that. Yeah, and we'll put it just in between there. We'll draw it. Yeah. 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 Okay. Let's make a waveform text box. Let's make a screen. So screen equals waveform screen equals new screen. And waveform screen, waveform screen, there we go, equals alloc simple screen. Oh, whoops, that's not how it works. It's just alloc simple screen, depth, depth 8. And we're going to make this 128 pixels wide by, what did we decide, 32 pixels tall? Yeah. And then waveform screen. Okay. We're going to clear screen, waveform screen. We're going to clear it. And then we're going to make a sprite called waveform sprite. It needs to be a pointer equals sprite of screen. We're going to put it at the X will be 64 will be 96, and the Y, so SPR waveform SPR Y, it's going to be just below, let's do plus 16, just below the title. Yeah. And the screen we're making a sprite from is waveform screen, like that. Okay, let's attach it to the display. Waveform sprite to the display at layer, I don't know, layer 13, like that. So we should just have a black box. That's a bit strange. Oh, whoops. Well, 128. I put in a random number. There we go. That should be working now. Oh, we need to set the sprite. So waveform. I am spelling that wrong. Form. Does form have an end? No, it doesn't. Okay. Waveform sprite. Transparency equals 0. So we don't want it to be transparent. There we go. There's our black box. And let's bump it up 8 pixels. Like that. That should look better. And it's not transparent right now. We'll make it transparent in the final thing. I just wanted to show you the box just to show you that we have it. That'll help us center things up too. This needs to be 11. Okay. Okay, so we have something to draw to. Now we need to actually draw the waveform. This is a bit tricky. Well, no, it isn't. We just need to make sure it's within a height of 32 pixels. How do we do that? Do we just divide each number by 32? Maybe all we need to do. So I have another program here. I'm just going to pull it up in the emulator really quick. If I go to Removers Library Manual, and I showed this yesterday. This was when I was trying to figure out how to pull samples out of the DSP waveform table. Wonder why that isn't bringing that up for you guys. Here. And I may need to go alter some code here too. I'm not entirely sure. I'll find out here pretty quick. Because I had some debug things in here to print out the actual waveform, the values for the waveform. So I really just need to grab the largest value there and figure out how to bring that, normalize that into a 32 pixel space, essentially. Virtual Jaguar. Removers Library Manual. Example programs. And DSP samples. And the DSP loading DSP samples at COF. Why aren't you guys seeing? You guys are probably hearing that. Let me see if I can, for some reason Virtual Jaguar isn't showing up. Let me see if I can fix that. There we go. I thought that was coming up, but I guess it wasn't. Okay, so it looks like it's fun. I do need to go change something really quick. Oh, not that. So I had a controller, some controller code, yeah, right here, that just prints out the currently loaded sample. But I need to, let's just go back there, cd / removers library example DSP, and then make clear, make clean, make virtual Jaguar. Now when I hit A, I don't know why isn't it working. Why didn't that work? Play mode. I just want you to print it. Oh, is A doing something else now? It's possible it's doing, no? Should be working. There we go. Ah, that's something I gotta change. So it's updating that value. See if I can find that. Yeah, right here. Just comment that out. There we go. So this is the actual waveform. You know what I need to do? Maybe I don't even need this. It's a signed value. If I divide, what's a max? So let me turn this off. Sorry. Don't want that playing in your ear the entire time. Was that showing up or did it lose it again? It lost it again. I don't know why it's having a hard time with this. Do that. Huh. just doesn't want to show it. It's weird. Sorry, I don't know why that isn't showing the virtual Jaguar emulator. I'm going to have to troubleshoot that. I'm not sure what's going on. Anyways, so I was just going to bring up a calculator here really quick. And I was going to do... Let's see here. Because it's signed, it's going to be half of whatever a 16-bit value is. So if we do FFFF, which is 65,000, but if we do 65,535 divided by 2, that gives us 32,767. 32,767. Guess I could just do that here. Divide 2, 0.5, but it's going to be one less because we're the reason why it's half is we use 1 bit to track if it's negative or positive. So if we take that value, how do we just need to divide that. So if we divide it by 32, brings us down to 1,000. We need to bring it down to sorry, I'm just running my I know you guys can't see it right now. I'm just running a calculator right now, trying to figure out these numbers in my head. 2 equals, then divide by 64. Nope. 34 divided by 2 divided by 128. Bring this down to 255. It's close. Let's try 256. We'll clear 2 divided by 256. It's down to 127. 1024 might be my value. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2 divided by 1024 equals. There it is, 1024. So we need to divide every value by 1024. And that should get us into the correct pixel space. So what we're going to do is back at our actual test suite. We're going to try drawing this right now. Oh wait, no, we can't. We need to draw it down here. This is probably going to slow things down, to tell you the truth, but it'll be cool to see if we can figure this out in the next few minutes. So once we load the sample, we can draw it. So draw sample. And we're going to be running this again through another for loop, and we can consolidate this later. So, well, it's not going to make a huge difference, to tell you the truth. We just need to draw to our buffer. And I'm going to look at our screen functions here because we have ways of drawing lines, and we don't need to draw lines per se because it's 128 pixels wide. We're not having to draw more than 1 pixel to the right, and so we're really just drawing points. And I think I can do that up here, but I'm not entirely sure. Pixels, X and Y coordinates, put pixel. Oh, right there, put pixel. That's the one we want. So the screen pixel value and then the destination. So back to here, use put pixel, So the screen we're putting the pixel on, which is our waveform screen, the X and Y, and then the color. And we're going to just use white for this for now. Okay, so that should put a pixel right up in the top. Oh, whoops. I gotta navigate back to CD. Oh. Right there. Let's try that again. Yeah, I wish I could figure out why Virtual Jaguar isn't wanting to show up. Let me check that one more time. Bear with me. Virtual Jaguar, there it is. Hopefully it will stay this time. I'm a little worried it won't. Let me try it again. There it is, it's showing up just fine now. Huh, weird. Okay, so there should be a white pixel up in the top left corner of our box. If I can get to it. Yeah, there it is. Okay. So we already have our X, it's just I. That's what's going to be going across. But our Y is DSP sample I divided by 1024. Hopefully. We'll give that a try. I'm going to wrap that in parentheses. And we're going to cast this as, I think it's just looking for an integer. Put pixel, yep, we're going to cast it as an int. Question is, should I cast it as an int before we divide it? Nah, I don't think it'll matter. Good. Emulator showing up. There it is. It is working. Kind of. Why is it skipping a bunch of pixels? Oh, that's why. So, no, actually, this should be working. Should be working just fine. It's still positive or negative, so what we need to do is take the absolute value. Oh, no, I need to offset it by, it's 32 pixels, so I need to offset it by 16 pixels. That will help with that. It's better. It's still too tall. I don't know why it's too tall. And why is it skipping every to the third pixel? Oh, it's no, that's fine. Here, I'm gonna double this really quick. See if we can get the waveform inside the box. Okay, it's inside the box, which is what we want. Isn't that cool? That's awesome. Why is it skipping every other pixel? Or every 3 pixels, which is weird. Or is it every 4th? Because that kind of makes sense. So here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Yeah, it's every 4th pixel. Is it because it's an 8-bit screen? Let's make it, if I can find it, let's make it a 16-bit screen. See if that makes it any different. Oh, it's not going to draw because I don't think the color is going to be correct. So if we just do 0x like that, maybe that will work. There we go, that's better. Now it's every other pixel. It's like it's trying to draw a 24-bit texture for some reason. Oh. No? What happens if we make this 32 bits long like that? There we go. The question is that the whole waveform? If it's skipping every other one. See, I almost want to draw this manually myself. Which I can do. It's not going to be as fast. This is kind of cool though, because now if I change it to, for example, to a triangle, you'll see kind of a sawtooth thing. Or a triangle, which makes sense. Is that the whole thing though? I don't think that's the whole thing. Is there a trick to this put pixel? You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to use... I'm not sure exactly how this is handling the different bit depths, but I know the line has worked for me before. In fact, we could just do... No, that's just going to do... Now let's do a line. So destination X, and then your two vertices, and then your color. So I'm going to drop this back down to an 8-bit. I'm just going to double check this really quick, make sure it's 8-bit. Yeah, 8-bit, 128, 32 pixels tall. Yeah, that's fine. And we're going to do line. I'm going to rewrite this. No. Yeah, so it's x1, y1. Actually, I just have to double this up. That's all I need to do. Like that. That should do the trick. Yeah. Let's see if that makes... I feel like I typed... No, it's building, so I must have typed it in right. There we go. Now that's working. Yeah, that line function works a little bit better. Actually, this should switch now. It should switch as well. It's not going to clear it out. It's gonna... it's just going to draw it over itself. But yeah, there we go. Now we can see all of them. And it looks like it's glitching out. Let's run a clear screen here. Clear screen like that. Waveform screen. So now when we change, it changes. Yeah. I don't understand why that one's... It must be... Oh no, that's fine. Huh. This chirp is nuts. It must be jumping really far. Oh, that's what I need to do. That'll make it solid. Yeah, so we can see the waveform now, which is cool. So the reason why this one looks crazy is we're not drawing, actually interpolating a line between those points. And so it only looks nice when the pixel's only changing, the waveform's only changing slightly. So, but it is working. And there's our delta. And then a noise. Let's see if we can draw between 2 points. So we just need to look at the previous one, or we could do it to the next one. But I got to be careful with that on the last one. We can't draw past. You know what I could do? I could just make this 127, and then we do +1 and +1. That should do it. So yeah, there we go. Cool. Got a waveform. There's our chirp. There's our our noise superimposed on a triangle wave. There's our delta, and then there's our noise. Well, that's fun, isn't it? There's our normal sine wave. This is a amplified sine. I don't know, it's just whatever formula they're using to generate those waveforms. But hey, this might be the first time that the waveforms that are built in the Jaguar have been visually displayed, have been visualized, at least in a public setting. So anyways, I don't know if that's special or not, but I think it's special. Okay, what we're gonna do is I actually want to I'm gonna draw this in a box. So we're gonna just do a few lines here. Just take our line function. I'm gonna draw a box. So we're gonna start at 0, 0, 0, and then go to 128, 0, 128, 0. That's the top of our box. And then let's just go clockwise. So we're at 128, 0, and drawing to 0, 128. That's the right side of the box. And then the bottom of the box is from 128, 128 to 0, 128. Like that. And then the left side of our box is at 0. We'll do the bottom corner, so 128 to 0, 0. That should be our box. Let's check it. Like that. Oh, it didn't like that. I didn't like that. Oh, duh, not 128. 32 is our height. So there to 32. So we just need to make sure all of our y's are 32. There we go. We're drawing a rectangle, not a box. Still didn't work. Why doesn't it? Oh, 31 pics? Yes. Oh, I need to make these one, because it's 0 to 127 and 0 to 32. It's not 1 to 128. That's not how it works. So I just need to drop these down. It's actually drawing just one pixel outside of the box, which isn't good. 31. Rookie mistake, Will. Come on. That's what you're supposed to say, right? Oh, we're close. We're so close. Did I not change? Let's see here. This is the right side. Oh, 127. There we go. Man, it was harder to draw that box than the waveform. There we go. Okay, so that we're going to make that white, and then we're going to make the waveform green. And let's make it transparent again. This should look kind of cool. I just got to find it right there. Get rid of that line. And we do need to unload our screen here, and we'll do that here in the last few minutes that we have. There it is. Now our waveform is green to match whichever waveform we have selected. And I need to draw my box after the waveform, because right now I'm drawing over the edges. Isn't that cool? That is so cool. We do need to bump everything up a little bit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop down waveform text box, the Y. So right here, I'm going to drop this down another 4 pixels to, do we need to do 4? Yeah, let's do 4 to 52. 52. And then this, we're going to set this to 24 on all of these. That should help with the layout a little bit. We may bump our waveform box down a little bit too. Oh no, that looks nice. Oh, we need to draw our box after the fact. Where is that? Right there. There we go. Okay. Was there any more alignment things I want to adjust? Oh, our raw sample's still quite a ways down there. We need to bring that up. What is going on? Oh, clear screen needs to be up there. There we go. Our raw sample is still too far down. We gotta bring that back up. Oh, whoops. I put 42 instead of 24. There we go. Okay. Audio test. You know, it'd be fun is to constantly be drawing the waveform, just slowly. That would be kind of cool, huh? Nah, we're not gonna worry about that. We've had enough fun, and I have to get off here soon. That's cool. That's right off of the Jag, though. That's really neat. Wonder if I can bring that waveform in just a little bit because it's cutting down here at the bottom. Where it's down here. So instead of 2048, if we did like 2052, if that would bring it in just a little bit. Not enough. 2096 maybe. I just got to bring it another pixel in. Oh, so close. So close. 2128. That one's good. We're still just over on that one. Let's do 2512. That's a little too far, huh? Let's do 2320. Oops. It's really just that one. Okay, that looks great. I like it. Still not perfect, but I think it's good enough for what we're doing. Nice. Nice. That looks awesome. Okay, I think we're probably done for today. Let me push that out to actual hardware to make sure. Oh, we need to unload before I forget, because I will definitely forget this if I don't do it right now. Waveform title text box right here. We have to unload our screen. So we got to detach the sprite first. Waveform sprite. And then free it. Sprite. Set it to null. waveform sprite equals null, like that. And then we need to free waveform screen data, set it to null. Here, I'm just gonna copy equals null, and then do the same thing for the screen structure. Like that. That should be correct. Okay, let's push this out to the actual hardware. Make sure I typed in everything correctly. Good. Here we go. Interesting. Look at that. I wonder why the waveform looks so different on actual hardware. Huh. It's interesting, it's making those jumps like that on actual hardware. I don't know why it's doing that. That is strange. Because those values, you know, I haven't checked to see if the hardware values are the same as the values in Virtual Jaguar. I assume they would be. But maybe they aren't. Maybe they're a lot more dirty on the Jag. Or maybe, I don't know. It's there. It's just strange that it looks that jaggedy. Let's see here. That's good. Huh. I'll have to check that. Play around with that, see why it's so different. But anyways, I think that's it for today, though. Yeah, we did some pretty cool stuff. We got the sound test all set up, where we can do octaves on a tone, and we can play back a sample, and we can draw the waveform that's actually from the Jag. I don't know why on hardware it looks so poor compared to Virtual Jaguar. It shouldn't be, because those are hard-coded values. They're just in a ROM, hard-coded inside of the DSP chip. So they should be exactly the same as the emulator, I assume, unless Seamus, or not Seamus, what's his name? I think it's Seamus, the guy who worked on Virtual Jaguar, the individual that worked on Virtual Jaguar, maybe he put in different values that get you close enough. Maybe that's what he did. Yeah, I'm gonna have to play around. I'll probably play around with this a little bit after the stream, see if I can get that working. But anyways, we have the waveform. Looks cool. I'm almost thinking about making it 256 pixels wide instead. That way we can cover more ground. But nah, it kind of looks cool. I like it. Kind of looks like a thumbnail. But anyways, thanks for watching. Thanks for joining me, Matt. Anybody else who was on the stream, thanks for joining me. I will be streaming again next week. We'll be doing, I want to do at least one day playing Baldies again, because I missed that last week. And then we'll probably do, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to do some Atari ST games, because CJ from Reboot is porting over some new Atari ST games. I thought we'd celebrate a little bit, maybe play some Barbarian Sword Fight. Ninja Mission is another one I really enjoy. What else has he ported over that I really enjoy? Those two in particular I really like. So yeah, we'll probably do some ST games on, and maybe I'll do that the first day, and then the second day we'll do Baldies, but maybe vice versa. I don't know. We'll play some games next week. Anyways, thanks for watching. Have a good day. Have a good rest of your week. Again, if you're new here, you can follow me on social media. The links are in the description. Again, thanks for watching. See you next week. Bye.